Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. I'm recording this on April the 11th, which is several days now after the eclipse. And I'm giving you this update because many people have been writing me talking about how they're feeling low, and there's this definite kind of depressed energy, a lowering of what feels like your whole frequency and maybe your whole life. There's a lot of that happening right now, and I want you to know that it's normal. We just went through this huge rebirth, and if you were part of the 3-day rebirth experience that we were having inside our Elevate Facebook group, then you know we were rising every single day. And then when the eclipse came, it was just like an explosion, a real elevation rapidly. And it's because there was so much of this higher frequency light encodements that was coming through from the sun. And now that we have received that, everything on the planet has been receiving and really now beginning to integrate that. And so what that means is that, with a rebirth, what comes with a rebirth? A death. And so we're literally dying to our first life. The energies that you may be experiencing coming through and just feelings that maybe don't make sense. You might not have life experiences to necessarily justify how you're feeling, but I know for me, I woke up this morning, for example, and it was like grief. Just this feeling of grief, like fear of like, now what? And I don't really have any experiences to justify it. I had an experience at the dentist yesterday, where I was, expecting to go down this one path with this one dentist. And then they're like, no, sorry, we're not going to do that. You can go see this person. So it felt like a little disjointing, a little jarring to my system because I was expecting it to go this way. But even my response was much more sensitive than I would normally have. Like that wouldn't normally bother me at all. But what this energy is doing, the lightness, that higher frequency energy, that plasma that's been coming from the sun has been, as it integrates, it does make us feel for a while overly sensitive, and sometimes to things that don't make any sense whatsoever. So if you're feeling like a heaviness, if you're feeling uninspired, like you're not really moving forward, nor do you have any inspiration to. This is all kind of part of it. So just know that it's not just you. And that's why it probably feels like a little bit of a void, like you're in this kind of no man's land right now, and noticing perhaps that you're not the only one. Like there's literally like a hush that is happening collectively. I know I feel it, and I just feel like even just like walking around where we live, it just feels quieter. It feels like a lower hum. So use this for what it was intended for, which is still, it's like a continuation of that introspective period that we were going into the new moon, which was also on the same day as the eclipse. And so new moons is about rebirthing, but it's also about letting go and letting the old die. So a lot of this energy, maybe you do have some stories attached to it that are still living and relevant in your world, but even if you don't, there is that theme energetically. So keep moving through it. Things are going to start to lighten, but this is just part of our advancement into this next paradigm that we're entering into. And it's a big deal, and so there has to be some big changes, right? We did some beautiful work together inside the Elevate Facebook group where we went through 3 days of basically rebirthing ourselves. And so the first was kind of a life review. Okay, and then the next we went into attuning into our next life. And then number 3, the 3rd day, the exercise was about activating it. So if you haven't done that, it's not as though the time is too late. Please feel free to join us inside the Facebook group. Just make sure you please complete all the questions, otherwise I can't let you in. It's a requirement for everybody. Very simple stuff, nothing complicated. But inside the group, we are cohering in our group avatar. The momentum is building, and it's a beautiful community where you can let your questions, let your stuff come to the surface, and then begin to move through it in community. as opposed to just trying to do these things on your own. You'll find a lot of camaraderie, and it's really comforting when you know that, okay, wow, they're dealing with the same thing, or they're dealing with something I haven't even thought about that, and it activates things in you. So our group momentum, anytime you have an opportunity to do things like this in a collective, you get to leverage the collective group avatar. And so that's what we're doing inside the Facebook group. You're welcome to join. It's ELEV, the number 8, TE for elevate. And the link is also below. But we'd love to have you with us. And just know that this period will end. It's just feeling uncomfortable right now because we're in the rebirthing, right? And so, like any birth, there's going to be some contractions, some discomfort, and then we move into really the lightness of it. So stick with it. Join us in the Facebook group if you feel inspired or inclined. And I look forward to seeing you in there and seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.